I have waited some time for you to come, Siegebreaker, and it seems that my patience has, at least, been worthwhile. The House of Sorrows has need of your might. Aid us, and you will earn a strong ally in the war against the Tuatha Deon. You may call me Bizarrain. I represent one of the great houses of the Winter Court, the House of Sorrows. This war with the Tuatha has worn the house to all but dust. We Fae are ill-equipped to handle such change, but your kind, you mortals, can bear it. Like your Alfar allies, we Winter Fae suffer under the Tuatha's onslaught. And like the Alfar, we Winter Fae need a champion. But it is a difficult position we are in, mortal. The Fae are not like your kind. We have different priorities, different threats. We need someone who understands that. It is not a simple task I ask of you. I have only approached you because you show the potential of use. You must still prove your worth. Go to the Midden and find the place called the Proving Halls. This Hearthstone will grant you access. Once you are within the halls, my questions will be answered.
Can't believe we beat you here. Sidon knows some amazing shortcuts through this place. So few of the Winter Court left to stand against the Tuatha. Good to see Sidon still around. It's been a long time. I had wondered what happened to the Winter Fae when Gadflow took control. Seems that they formed the Bitter Frost. They've got as much to fight for as our kind, and nothing left to lose. We couldn't ask for a better ally. Old Sidon's a snake, but he's still on our side. Why, I remember when he helped rescue my fiancée from Rassilon, back in my younger days. Of course, she called off the wedding and just mooned over Sidon after all that. He has that effect. Sidon and I used to be best of friends. Sure, it's been a decade or two, but for Faye, that's barely a blink of the eye. I'd trust him with my life. Good luck with Sidon.
It is agreeable to see you, Siegebreaker. Cluricon can be inhospitable at times, as the Tuatha have learned. We've made sure of it. So I did. We are the Bitter Frost, the last few remnants of free Winter Fae. We have refused to bend knee to Gadflow or his god. Our numbers are few, but we have fought our kin as best we can. The once noble houses of Sorrow, Pride, and Vengeance have all fallen under Gadflow's sway. Until they're freed, the Tuatha's ranks will continue to swell with the faithful. You can't fight a war on your own. And even if you could, you'd find your path barred by the House of Pride, as well as the House of Vengeance. You need a way to strike at their heart, a way to reach Gadflow himself. And we know how you can get there. Blind him, cut out his tongue, draw the venom from our land. Only then will we be able to begin to strike at Alabaster. The Tuatha have built Prismere chantries across Gluricon. From here, Godflow rallies the faithful, preaches the word of Tirnoch, and corrupts our land. Destroy these chantries and disrupt Godflow's ability to infect this land. Without Godflow to guide them, the Tuatha in Gluricon will be disorganized and scattered. When this is done, he'll take you to Ventrinio. He can help you breach Alabaster. The Tuatha built chantries of Prismere in the heart of Gluricon. From here, Godflow watches, and his toxic prayers seep into the heart of every Winter Fae. No Fae can withstand their power up close, and no House of the Winter Court can be free until those abominations are destroyed. There are 3 of them, to the south and east. Kill their guards, then smash their crystals and be done with them. Godflow will try to stop you, but it's just a harmless projection. He can't hurt you. At least, not directly. Go now. Break the tyrant's grip.
So few of the Winter Court left to stand against the Tuatha. These Fae have formed quite a fighting force. It'll be good to have them on our side. Gigantic red pillar with the image of Godflow? We saw one of those back in Dalantarth. That seems so long ago. If they're everything Sidon says they are, sounds like Godflow is trying to get a foothold in Dalantarth. Sounds like that thing in the Dalantarth cave when Godflow talked to us. Kill the guards, smash the crystals, and that should sort them out. Be careful around the chantries. Even you can't be immune to Godflow's power.
Off into the swamps, I assume? Prismere can channel tremendous magical power. An entire chantry of it could be dangerous. It wouldn't just transmit the voice and image of Godflow. It'd transmit his thoughts and will to those around it, too. I've heard of them. Farther to the south and east. Listen for the sound of Godflow's sermons, and you're sure to find them. Good hunting.
Hail! So 2 are dead, and Herc still lives. That is good news at the least. Though I'll need to have words with him about refusing to check in when he was supposed to. Still, I owe you much. Take this gold in gratitude. Perhaps in the coming days we can work together again. He's a good scout, although he is a little too independent at times. Later then.
Solemn, solemn, hallowed tree, glory to the graveyard be. Far from forests of the west, do the dying have this rest.
And so you have come, whether to aid the house or rain punishment on the Tuatha, I do not know. That you are here, is enough. To assuage your confusion, I am Bizarrain, king of the house. During your trials, I will observe and communicate to you through this medium. Through the crystal you see before you, it is not magical in and of itself, but a conduit for my own magic. All your actions will be known to me. Every word will be listened to. This is about you, of course. You are the only mortal to be given a chance to join the House of Sorrows. But do not think such an offer is given out of honor or respect for you. What drives me to this offer is what brought you here. Necessity. What you do is of no concern to me. What I hope to evaluate is what you are, to know how you might best help the house. I have locked the way behind you. The way forward is your only path out of these halls. I can tell you no more, other than that I will be watching.
Roam these halls, mortal. Once these lands were quiet, gentle. Now they mean to kill all that tread upon it, even the Winter Fae. My people have lived in peace for decades, centuries. But now we're awash in war and corruption, and we cannot stop it. I do not know. The Midden, it has been sullied. We've never feared such assaults until recently. Wait, what was that? It is here!
And so you have completed your first trial. Your actions spoke volumes, but your reactions are just as pertinent. You killed the creature that was chasing that woman. Why? did she? What did you know of her plight? Of why the beasts pursued her so? Perhaps her persecution was a just one. Do not ignore subtleties. When is a Fae a Tuatha, and when is one a child of winter? That answer might save a life or end it. Ahead, you will find another trial. A Fae of sorrows, succumbing to an agonizing poison. In need of aid, no doubt, but deserving of his fate? We shall see.
Please, are you the mortal that Bizarrain has brought to aid us? The one he is promised? Thank mercy I have been poisoned. But now that you are here, you can kill me. Please, end my suffering. I do not know. It is some poison. In other times, the Fae would not be vulnerable to this. But we are weaker now. We are prone. I could have walked from this once. But now... Please, mortal. I know it's strange, but the Fae are not like you. Death is different to us. I will rise once more in time, but killing me will let me escape this suffering. I do not know. Everything is blurred. I do not even know where I am. It must have been him. He does whatever he cares with his subordinates. It was Bizarrain. He was meant to save us from the Tuatha, to preserve our oldest traditions, to protect the Winter Fae. Thank you for ending this.
Death is something you readily deliver, it seems. But did that Fae die as a result of your mercy or your barbarity? I need a court of Winter Fae who will free these lands from the Tuatha, and we have gone too long without new blood. You have demonstrated substantial worth. One trial remains. You have reached this chamber at last. The time of trial is over. No more apparitions, no more questions. The House of Sorrows has always held a precarious position in this world, and now we hold on to it by the tips of our fingers. You think you have broken the Tuatha's grip on Cluracan. You have not. Even now, the Winter Fae and the House of Sorrows are subject to their malice. I am the King of Sorrows. I have held dominion over these halls, over this house, over the Winter Fae who dwell here. But the war upon Cluracan has sapped me of my strength. Should these times continue, I may become nothing. Nothing at all. I am not one to take anything on faith. If I wish to know an object's worth, I examine it for myself. This trial is designed to demonstrate your mettle. It is we who permit the Winter Fae to rise above their basic nature, to foster decay and ruin. A nature that normally divides rather than unites. For a time, the House avoided the war that cleaves this land. But now that war is upon us, and we are not ready. The House of Sorrows has always existed to preserve and maintain the oldest traditions of winter. We are the essence of these Fae lands. The House holds an authority among the Fae that the Tuatha have always coveted. Now, they finally seek to claim that power for their own. We must conclude your trial. Ready your weapon. You are to strike me down. What you need to do and why you must do it are two very different matters, mortal. I deal in instructions, not explanations. Because there are trials that I can observe from afar, and others that I must see at hand. We have reached the trial that I must be present for, if I am to test you truly. Nor could you have fought me if you had chosen to do so. What you see before you is but an apparition. Speak. Now that your trial has concluded, come with me. The Tuatha have yet to break down our doors, but I would not put that past them. The house is poised to collapse from the Tuatha's dissension and destruction, and I need one to help us. Your reactions were real, but the Fae with whom you interacted, Tybri, Kadarok, and myself, were not. They were but apparitions of the Fae you will come to know in this house. As facsimiles, the apparitions were appropriate enough, but I think you will find their real-world counterparts more complex. I know it is not the mortal way to test someone in a manner such as this. The beast, the poison, it was all done out of necessity. I did not need you to understand the trial. I only needed it completed. I do not have time for you to meet the struggles of the house unprepared. Then welcome to our ranks, mortal. The Hearthstone I gave you at the start of the trials will now reflect your affinity with us. Come, join me at the House of Sorrows. I will show you a world stranger than you have ever seen. The Prince of Sorrows once, but now no longer. He wages a war against the Tuatha with little support but his own strength. Perhaps that is enough for him, but the only thing he will weaken is the house's morale. To your kind, it is a celebration of war. But before your mortal corpses were hung there by Tuatha, it was the emblem of our house's duty. The most reverent corpses were placed not in the midden, but hung upon those boughs to show all of nature that we still revere our essence of decay. But like all things in these lands, the tree has been defiled by war. Saturnin took our greatest symbol and turned it to filth. My summer brethren embody the growth and progression of nature. As such, establishing the summer realms came easy to them. But the winter fae bear the burden of regression and decay in their essence. Left alone, they would never be able to overcome such a weight. They could never unite. The house's founder, the Weeping King, took on their sorrows and freed them. We carry the burden inherent in the winter fae so they can achieve greatness. The House of Sorrows made a pact with the Tuatha. They would not interfere with us if we did not interfere with their war with the Alfar. Of course, the Tuatha did not trust us, so they insisted that a new king be appointed to the house, one agreeable to both parties. In the end, I was the one chosen. I was to be king. But in answering that call, I have been labeled a traitor by many within the house. He is the agent of the Tuatha, and though he bears their allegiance, his appearance is that of a winter fae. I am certain of it. I know little of him, but of me and my house, his knowledge is wide and deep. With every action, he reveals that he is merely toying with us. He is not a type of foe I am familiar with, for he does not attack outright. Instead, he instills fear and despair. The Midden is the cradle in which our race of winter was fostered. It is a place of rot, of decay, a place where the House of Sorrows holds reign. The Fa Kelidae, they call themselves. The Faithful. They take the Fae of Winter and craft them into an army. But they know little of true devotion. If we are to discuss the plight of the house, I will do so at his heart. Come, meet me in the main hall of the House of Sorrows, and we will speak more. Speak. Speak.
I listen. So, there is a mortal after all. Bizarrain has done little in his time as king that has been quite so progressive as welcoming a mortal into our fold. I have given up mortal. It is the way of life to struggle, I think, in the jaws of death. But how can we consider ourselves devout if we struggle? No. Let us lay down our arms, let us lay upon the midden soil and pass on. It is said that Saturnin is one of us, one of the house. But who? Why would one of us betray us to the Tuatha? How fitting, I think, that this place becomes like the bodies we tend. Empty, cold, and eventually consisting of nothing. Quiet place once. I used to watch the rooks and crows rest gently upon its boughs, but now the beasts are savage things, glutting themselves on rotten flesh. His is the voice that cries out when struck dead. I see only doom for our people, and neither Bizarrain nor Sidon can avert it. Be safe.
Speak. I have a task for you. Of late, there are many in this house who have come to view my authority with disdain. As such, there is need of someone unbiased by our house's history and the traditions therein. Someone such as you. We must move quickly. The Tuatha will not hold their strikes for long. Let us stop their next blow. You fail to understand. Although the Tuatha wage war with us, as they have with the Alfar, they do so by other methods. Our enemies are subtle. They target individuals, not armies. They strike at convictions, not cities. And by doing so, they can retreat to where we cannot find them. For all our years of struggle, we know only this: that our enemy is led by a Tuatha agent, Saturnin. He is the master of this shadowy coup. We cannot right now. He hides himself and covers his tracks well. But I have a lead which you will investigate with one of our delvers, Tybri. A tender, Katarok, has fled the house and killed a fellow member in doing so. I suspect Saturnin's influence, or perhaps that Katarok might be Saturnin himself. Bring Tybri to the body of Katarok's victim. Though dead, the sorrows will remain on the corpse. The sorrows can lead us to Katarok. Members of the House may choose one of two paths: the path of the Delver, or the path of the Tender. Delvers are those who commune with the sorrows of the living Fae and the recently deceased. They draw forth these sorrows and assume them. However, most Delvers lost their talent over these last few centuries. But our youngest, Tybri, shows some promise. The Tenders are those sacred few who oversee the decay and decomposition of a Winter Fae's body. They also oversee the Midden itself, for like a body, the Midden is a physical thing, a vessel for rot and ruin, that which is required for death to become rebirth. Finally, they once tended to the gallows tree, but that was before the Tuatha perverted it. There is a tender named Katarok who has fled our ranks. He is somehow tied to Saturnin. I am certain of it. I want you to find him and put an end to him. For if he is not Saturnin himself, then he is betraying our secrets to the Tuatha.
I listen.
Mortal, there is something that requires the attention of one of your kind. You have been to the Midden, yes? The sacred ground being desecrated by the corpses of your kind? It was a gift of the earth to commemorate the rot and decomposition of the Fae. Then the Tuatha sullied it with the corpses of their prisoners. Mortals do not decay like Fae do. Mortals putrefy and corrupt. The Midden and the House now feel this grisly taint. The nature of my request is not something the Midden needs, but something the Midden should do without. The corpses of your brethren have been thrown into the Midden as a declaration of hostility by the Tuatha. But they do more than signify a point. Their corruption and rot have drawn an ancient Lianshi Mithra from slumber. She gluts herself on the bodies and will further corrupt the Midden if unchecked. To feed, Lianshi are drawn to death and decay. Something Winter Fae embody in spirit, but which mortals embody in flesh. When mortal corpses began appearing in the Midden, Mithra was unable to resist the temptation before her, and now she runs rampant. You cannot hope to solve the problem with a simple application of violence. The Athra is old, and she is wise to obvious attacks on her. Searching will yield no quarry, so you must be cunning. If we cannot find her in the Midden, we can force her to return to her den beneath the house. Find fresh corpses, the ones Mithra prefers to eat, and cremate them. With no food to scavenge, she will return to her den. Then you can kill her. She is an ancient and powerful Lianchi. Normally she hibernates in the Midden, but the recent influx of dead mortals has driven her to feed. It will only be a matter of time before she further corrupts the Midden with her presence. For the house's sake, she must be put down. With great difficulty. She is clever and hides well when any come hunting for her. To search for her outright would be folly. But with some cunning, we can force her to appear. Mithra prefers fresh corpses. Destroy those, and she would likely return to her den to wait for more. Locate any fresh corpses you can find and cremate them. Without food, she will stop scavenging and return to her den. Make haste!
So, you were the mortal. There were whispers that Bizarine had welcomed one of you amongst us. But to pick the siege breaker, I am awed. I forget myself. Bizarine has made his wishes clear, and we must do as he asks. Are you ready to begin? I am Tybri. I have only 2 centuries to my name. I was asked to join the house because of my abilities. I can hear them, the sorrows in people, the essence of decay and ruin that precedes winter. I can even hear the sorrows faintly in you. Few delvers are left who can hear any sorrows at all, but never have any claim to hear them as much as I. Many believe me to be a liar, or an abomination. The Midden was once a sacred place for the House of Sorrows, for all Winter Fae, where the bodies of the dead were left to decompose. Our bodies do not rot as mortal corpses do. So when Saturnin placed the bodies of mortals here, they putrefied, corrupting the Midden. Scavengers and beasts now roam the Midden, and the body we seek is deep within. I must have someone to watch my back. Farewell. Yes?
and they sleep beneath the limbs, while we sing these mourning hymns, as the dead embrace the land in the earth's embalming hand.
The body is here. I must begin my work. But the magic is sure to draw the wild fae in the area. Hold them back while I commune with the sorrows. Farewell. Yes, it is done. Cadoroc's sorrows left a strong impression on the corpse. He is hiding in the Siren Crypt in the drowned forest. You should go there, but be wary. The impression Cadoroc left on the body was conflicted. Something is not right here. I will return to the house. With the beast beaten back, it should prove safe enough now. We, are the backbone of the house. Delvers can look into the essence of Winter Fae, find the sorrows within, and take upon that burden. The Weeping King was the first to perform this function. The Delvers witnessed his powers, and imitated as they could. Only now, no Delver has this art, save for me. It is the emblem of the house. It is the heart of the midden. It is said it has always been here, even during the times of the Weeping King. To be a member of the house is a great honor. Without the House of Sorrows, there would be no Court of Winter, no culture in these lands, only winter. He is the Faithlog Tocht, the choking vine. He reaches from briars dark and unknown to strangle the life from us. Before there was a Court of Winter, before there was a House of Sorrows, there was the Midden, a place where Winter Fae would come to die. The bodies left to rot here mark the covenant of the house. Though the Winter Fae may stave off decay to create its courts and culture, they cannot escape it forever. The dead do not speak lies. Cadoroc has gone to Siren Crypt in the drowned forest. It was once a mighty fortress. But like all things in this war, it was reduced to ruin. Lesser, cruder beasts and beings walk its halls now. For Cadoroc to hide there, it makes little sense. But from what the Sorrows told me, it seems as though he had nowhere else to go. Farewell.
Gravestone standing tall by the sorrow's weary hall. Are the leaves now bearing fruit? Will the dead now follow suit? are the Alfar nature's meat, food the ravens meant to eat. Why do soldiers hang like tears? Why Tuatha covet fears? Gallows tree, spreading baleful tyranny, ruined terror of the war, hallowed ground for nevermore.
What is it? I have felt the energies of Mithra fade to Ashara, mortal. I am glad that this business is concluded. At least the Midden will not be in danger of corruption any more than it already is. I thank you for your part in keeping it so. As payment, take this bauble. I discovered it on a body on one of your kind. May it be useful to you in your travels. Yes, yes.